Hey guys, it's Morgan and today I am filming from the Hamptons. I'm in Southampton right now. We are here for the weekend and enjoying the pool, enjoying this beautiful house. I'm so lucky to be able to stay in for the weekend, enjoying the hot weather. It's a Friday, so I have to do my internship, but I was lucky enough to be able to request that I work remotely today. So I have been outside on the deck doing some work, and I'll insert a little clip or a couple clips right now of this beautiful house, and not trying to brag, not trying to make anybody jealous. Again, I'm super grateful that we have a family friend who allows us to stay here. So I thought that it would be fun to do a video about some of the lessons that I have learned in my 21 years. And I recently had a birthday. I turned 21 the week before last week. So I kind of compiled some of the lessons that I have certainly lived through, some of the things that maybe I wish I had known or understood a little more in my younger years. So maybe if you are under 21, you can find some wisdom in this, and if you're over 21, these are potentially lessons that you can still find value in as well. These are everlasting. So here we go. Let's start with number 1. The first thing that I have learned by 21 is it's okay to let go of toxic people. And by this I mean when there are people in your life that no longer bring positivity to you and no longer make you feel like a better person and make you happier, they don't help you grow, it's okay to let go of those people. You know, even if you have history with them, say it's a friendship that you've had for a really long time, but you've kind of drifted apart and this person might not share your values anymore, or a relationship that has just simply gone stale or, you know, become unhealthy or toxic, it's okay to let go of those people. The memories will remain how they are. Some people are meant to be in your life at a different time and not necessarily meant to be in your life forever. Number 2 is make friends with food. And by this I mean so many people have unhealthy relationships with food and eating and macronutrients, and they think that, you know, carbs are the enemy, sugar is an enemy, and all of these things, and restricting themselves because they think that food is not a friend. And everybody likes to eat, everybody, you know, has their favorite foods, everybody has foods they don't like as much, but a lot of people struggle to make friends with food and look at food as a way of nourishing your body, a way of giving you energy, viewing food for truly what it is, which is fuel that you can have fun with and make fun combinations for, and, you know, enjoy socially with your family and friends. It's an expression of love, and it's an expression of art. So the next one, you will love again. What I mean by this is, you know, you're going to get hurt by people, you're going to hurt people, and you're going to have relationships that end, and it's going to be a shame, and you're gonna love and you'll love again. You know, when you get hurt, a lot of the time you're like, okay, never again, I'm not putting myself in that vulnerable situation, or oh my gosh, I could never feel that way about anybody else, but I'm telling you, you will. So number 4 is to trust yourself. And this is kind of an obvious one, and this takes a long time, but to truly trust yourself and realize, okay, I've got this. In a situation of stress, in a situation of, you know, difficulty, being able to know that you're gonna handle it, even if it hurts now, even if you're a complete stress ball, trust yourself. You have prepared for this, and the world is giving you this moment to show that. I don't believe that we are given anything that we can't handle. And as cliche as that is, I found it to be true. All of the times before this that you have thought, wow, I'm not gonna make it through this. You did. You're sitting here and you're watching this video, so you survived. And that's more than some people can say. Number 5, nobody knows what they're doing. This is something that has been interesting to me as I've grown, because when I was a kid, and I'm sure that a lot of people share this sentiment, You think that adults know everything. You're like asking all these questions and you're so curious because adults are omnipotent and they know the answer to all of your questions. And maybe when you're a kid, to some degree they do, because your questions might be simple. But nobody knows what they're doing. In reality, you know, even your professors, your teachers, your boss, they might to some degree, but we're all the children that we once were. You view the world the same way. It's not like you are a different person when you're older. You're still that same like kid who gets scared of certain things and that kid who's curious about things. So give yourself a little slack when you might mess up. This one is for me personally. Wear your sunscreen, Morgan. You don't tan, and you know that's not going to change when you get older. Literally exhibit A, I just sat outside all day doing work and I was in the shade, and yet here I am like pink as a tomato. So, you know, lesson learned, maybe not, but it's something that I need to remind myself often. That's all I've got to say. Number 7, take yourself out on dates. Spend time with yourself. It's so important. And a lot of people don't do this. People are kind of afraid of being alone, and some people like to be alone. Some people prefer to be around other people, and that's all fine. That's a matter of being extroverted versus introverted, and we all have our, you know, the way that we lean. However, learning to take time for yourself and take yourself on dates, like, be able to love yourself when you don't have somebody romantically actively loving you. Take yourself out, go explore on your own. It's actually so fulfilling, and sometimes you really meet great people when you do that and you branch out of your comfort zone. Number 8 is to read more. I can't stress this enough, and you know, I'm not the best at this. I'm usually in the middle of a book, but sometimes I don't finish a book, and sometimes I do go periods of time where I haven't read a book in a while, but I know that it makes me feel significantly better in a lot of other ways in my life. So, you know, it's important. And to the people who say that they don't like to read and they would prefer to watch TV, that's fine. And sometimes I'm sure we all feel that way. But in reality, I think that we're all readers. And I think that there are books out there that you would enjoy if you gave them a chance. And just pinning yourself as the type of person who doesn't read for fun, that's just you pigeonholing yourself into that category. But I think that we could all enjoy books. That's all I've got to say. And behind me there are all these beautiful books on this bookshelf. Like, doesn't that look appealing? I don't know. I just think staying curious and reading is so important. Number 9, knowing how to cook is a great gift, and it's a great skill. When you're able to teach yourself how to cook, this kind of goes back to my other point about making friends with food. It's so fun, and it's just a fun way to express yourself and create something. And that hard work that you put into cooking and making a nice home-cooked meal, it feels so good when you come up with that final product, and all the, you know, work that you put in is worth it. Even if you're following a recipe, if you're not, getting comfortable in the kitchen and kind of learning what kind of foods you like and developing that taste for yourself, it's a really, really great skill, and that will carry you through. So, you know, no matter how old you are, it's never too late to try to take up cooking. I think, again, same thing as reading, I think we could all be chefs. I think if it comes down to it, you just need to challenge yourself. 10, this has always worked for me, write about it until it makes sense. And by this I mean, if you have a ton on your mind and you're stressed, or maybe you're trying to work through a relationship problem, write about it. Write it down until it makes sense to you. Sometimes we get so up in our heads about these things that we don't take the time to actually look at them and make them permanent and be able to analyze them kind of from an outside perspective. If you look at what you've written down on a page, sometimes the answer is right there and you just weren't able to see it in your own head. So write about it. Number 11, stay curious, you know? Listen to podcasts and read and write and watch new movies and go to poetry nights, and just stay curious and stay excited about life. There is so much out there to learn and experience. There are so many cultures and languages, and if you lose that curiosity, then life becomes kind of monotonous, and that's not really the kind of life that I would like to live. Number 12 is care about the people in your life and show them that you care. Don't be afraid of being too much for people. If you feel strongly about someone, then tell them that you feel strongly. The only thing that you would regret about that is not saying it in the first place. You never know what's going to happen. And this is a cliche, but if you do really look at things like it might be the last time you do something, then I feel like we would all be a lot more grateful and show a lot more love to the people that we care about, our friends and our family and our loved ones. So the next one kind of piggybacks off of that one. Number 13 is be grateful. And by this, I mean, remember what you have and think about the fact that some other people in the world, many other people in the world, don't have what you have. A lot of us don't take the time to actually do it. And this is why I've started to try to incorporate gratitude journaling and remembering and writing down the things that make me happy that I have in my life, so that on those down days, you have something to look at to remember, okay, this is what I'm here for. These are the feel-good things. These are the people I care about, and I'm grateful for them. Number 14 is to spend time in nature every day, no matter the season, no matter the weather, and this might seem extreme for those days that it's like hurricaning outside. You understand what I'm saying? You can find beauty in anything. To me, I've learned that whether it's 100 degrees or 20 degrees, like there's a lot of beauty out there, and if you spend a little bit of time, this might just mean taking a short walk when you could have driven. If it's raining, just learn to embrace the earth and the world in the way that it lends itself to us. It's so beautiful to watch the world unfold in front of us. And a lot of us don't appreciate the earth for the fact that it is so ever-changing, and there is so much that we don't actually look at and take the time to understand and appreciate. Now, I don't know about you, but I've always felt the most at peace when I'm outside. Number 15 is wake up early. And some people might say, okay, this doesn't appeal to me, like I'm a night person, and that is fine if you are. I agree that everybody has the different times in their day that they are the most productive and the most happy. I'm a morning person. It doesn't mean you have to be, but I do think that a lot of people don't realize how much more time in the day they could have if they woke up just a little bit earlier. I'm not saying you have to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. If you're the type of person who wakes up at 9, then maybe try waking up at 8 or 7. And you'll see that it does become habit pretty quickly, and you have the ability to do so much more in those hours. I personally get like the most out of my day in the morning hours, and that's just me personally, but take my time to get ready for the day before the outside world gets to me. Is have my own little ritual, and I'm gonna make another video about my morning ritual because it's very important to me soon, but I just wanted to throw this tip in there. Number 16 kind of goes off of that. Go to sleep early. And again, this will be different for different people. Early to some might be late to others. For me, I like to go to bed between 10 and 11 at night and try to wake up between like 6 and 7 in the morning, and that works for me. It might not work for you, and that's fine. But going to sleep a little bit earlier will lend itself to you waking up a little bit earlier, and I think these are really valuable everyday habits that you can change. And once you've done something for a couple weeks, it just becomes second nature and it becomes a habit. It goes the same for a lot of things, and I think going to sleep a little earlier and waking up a little earlier, I think it makes me feel a lot better as a human. I feel a lot more awake in the morning, and I feel energized when I'm not rushing in the morning to get to work or rushing in the morning to go to class. Number 17 is health and appearance are not synonymous. This is a lesson that took a lot of time for me to learn. We all have obviously very different body types and metabolisms, and because someone on the street looks a certain way, maybe they are thinner than you, or maybe they are, more curvy than you, none of this necessarily means that they're healthier or less healthy than you are. We are all built from such different molds. Number 18 is it's okay to be sad, and you don't have to always be brave. I like to think of myself as quite an optimistic person, but on those days when I'm just not quite feeling myself, or maybe I've had a hard day, I try not to be hard on myself, and I let myself feel sad. It's okay to do that. If you bottle it all up, then, you know, eventually it's all going to fall on you harder than it would have if you just kind of dealt with your emotions and stayed in touch with them at the time. Try to be more in touch with your emotions, whether that means talking to someone else about them or just writing them out. It's really important to not put so much pressure on yourself to be emotionally perfect. We are such complex creatures that obviously nobody has infinite good days. Number 19 is travel often and as much as you can. So a lot of these tips that I'm giving are obviously going to differ among the people that watch them. So traveling to some people might just be going, you know, into the city that you live near, and you don't do that very often because you don't have time or you don't make the time. And to some people it might mean skipping town and going to Europe for a month. Travel as much as you can. I really believe in this. Getting those experiences and seeing those different cultures, whatever that might mean to you, and just meeting new people with different stories and different backgrounds. It's so important to learning about yourself and learning about the world. And I think a lot of the memories that people value in their later years in life are from the times that they traveled and the times that they broke out of their comfort zone and broke out of the routine. And funny enough, going off of that, break out of your comfort zone and challenge what you're made of. You are so capable of doing these things and going to these new places and meeting new people, and that doesn't necessarily mean traveling. Whatever your comfort zone is, just stretch it out a little bit. Learn a new skill, practice a new hobby, incorporate yourself into a new friend group, and go to places you've never been. And you will find that you are made of a lot more than you give yourself credit for. Number 21, the last one. Don't forget to treat yourself. Everything in moderation, but if you want to buy the sweater, then buy the sweater. Life is too short. If you want to eat the chocolate, then eat the chocolate. Just take the time for yourself, you know? Watch a movie, diffuse your essential oils, take a nice bath, do whatever it is, and do this once a day. Whatever it might mean is take care of yourself, pamper yourself, and do a nice favor for yourself once a day that solely has the purpose of making you feel good and bringing you peace. This world is hectic, and a lot of people don't take the time for themselves because they don't think they can. And this could mean 5 minutes every single day to meditate. Whatever it is for you, whatever this means, treat yourself. Okay, so those were 21 things that I have learned by the age of 21, and I hope that you enjoyed this video.